Hi, I hope all is well with you and that you're staying safe. This past Sunday, I got up from Shiva for my mother, Allah Shalom. Born on September 1st, 1919, she lived to be 104 and a half. It's amazing and somewhat sad that a child could have such a good relationship with such a special mother for so many years and yet still say that he hardly knew her. It's not for the lack of trying. I certainly made an effort to get to know her better, especially in her later years. Whenever I would visit her floppish apartment on my visits from Yerushalayim, I would ask her about episodes in her life, but her answers most of the time were superficial without going into any real detail or real meaning. It was only in her later years that I realized that her answers were not a reflection of secrecy. It was more a commentary as to the type of person she was. Simply put, she was a very modest person, a real tsanua, who spent her life focusing on others rather than on herself. My mother, Allah Shalom, was a rebbetzin to hundreds of families in Flatbush for many decades. Although she was constantly in the limelight, together with my father, Allah Shalom, who was the rabbi of the community. Both of my parents intrinsically were very private individuals who perhaps would have been more comfortable in less public roles, but served their congregants in order to have a positive influence on them and bring them closer to Torah. I only really discovered how little I knew of her during Shiva, when visitor after visitor and phone caller after phone caller related the relationship they had had with her, the role model that she was as a rebbetzin, the warmth and kindness she bestowed on them, the advice she gave. She had a significant influence on thousands of women over the years. I'm telling you all this because I would like to share with you perhaps the two most important lessons that my mother taught me. Lesson number one, regardless of how long we live, even if it's over 100 years, and even if you had the most enjoyable experience in life, at one point in time, it ends. Time doesn't stand still for anyone. Lesson number two, which is a reflection on the first lesson, is that since it's going to eventually end, make every day count. Don't look in the mirror and say, I still have plenty of time left. No one knows when the Malach Mavis, the angel of death, will call. Now is the time when we still have the wonderful gift of life that the Ribono Shel Olam has granted us, to use this gift to create our legacy, to develop ourselves, to grow in Torah, to strengthen our Yiras Shamayim and our Amunah and Bitachon in Hashem, to enhance the lives of others, even by acts of small chasadim, to make a Kiddush Hashem, as my parents did, by modeling what it means to be a true Tzelem Elokim. It's not the materialism that we collect throughout our lives, or the vacations and fun times that we had that we take with us when the time comes, but the accomplishments and the legacy that we leave behind. As I reflect on my lack of knowledge to the specific minor details of my mother's life, I realize that my knowing what she represented and how she conducted her life is enough to know who she really was. May we all learn from her example, and may she be a Melitz Yosher, a strong, positive advocate for her family and for all of Klal Yisrael. And as I told her, just as we were burying her, may we meet again very, very soon at Techiyas HaMesim with the coming of Mashiach, the Meher B'Yameinu. May we share Besuros Tovos.